Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Untethered. Today, I have with me my co-hosts Mark Edworthy and Tan Hai Tran. Welcome, guys, and we
Hello.
we we are here with some breaking news, some information that Mark Edworthy has brought to our attention. And with that, I'm going to just pass it over to him because I will be doing some reading for him here in a little bit, and I want him to start us out with the topic. So with that, I'm going to say take it away, Mark.
Okay. What was it? In on April the 8th, so 3 days ago now, it was reported that there was a warship plus submarines in a Russian warship and Russian submarines in the English Channel. I heard about this earlier today, but yesterday now. But I'm still a bit hazy on the details myself. So, Roger, if you want to read the Mirror article.
Yeah, give me a second. I have to pull. I can pull it up on the screen share. That way, everybody can see it on the thing. And let me get this going, and then we'll have it. There we go. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see if it's popping up here. All right. So here we go. Tankers through Channel. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer in March gave special forces the authority to capture the ships illegally ferrying oil to support Russia's war in Ukraine. But Moscow still sent a warship to escort tankers. This is by Tanner Anders, UK and World News reporter, April the 9th, 2026. Now, Russia has reportedly sent a warship to escort sanctioned vessels through the English Channel. The Admiral Gregorovich, a Black Sea Fleet frigate, accompanied two Shadow Fleet ships on Wednesday, April the 8th, with British naval vessel RFA Tide Force followed behind. The warship sailed between the two 600-foot tankers as they headed west towards Plymouth. UK Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer in March gave special forces the authority to capture the ships illegally ferrying oil to support Russia's war in Ukraine. Now, Sir Keir said he would hit the Shadow Fleet even harder if they sailed through British waters, but the country has not seized a single Russian vessel. The Telegraph reported that Universal reportedly departed from a Russian port on January 18th on mission to deliver crude oil to support the Kremlin funds. It was outlawed in British waters in September. The Cameroon-flagged Enigma was headed for Turkey after leaving a different Russian port on March the 29th. It was sanctioned by the UK in May for pumping money to the Kremlin. Andrew Fox, a retired major in the parachute regiment, said the Russians were trying to humiliate Britain. Russians are desperate to keep that oil flowing and keep the water in Ukraine, and keep the war in Ukraine going, Mr. Fox said. They're running rings around Starmer right now. If we're really serious about helping Ukraine, we need to clamp down on these Shadow Fleet ships. That would send a message. It would embarrass Putin. At the moment, we are not sending that message. The Royal Navy and the National Crime Agency could be deployed to capture the tankers using a legal justification from sanctions legislation passed in 2018. Special Forces personnel from the Special Boat Service and SAS may be able to seize tankers should armed guards be seen, and the Royal Marines could board vessels that do not pose a danger. Moscow has warned it would retaliate if the military were deployed to seize the ships. I believe that is all of them.
Yeah, that's all.
All of them.
I think the best thing to do next is to go into the Royal Naval report.
Yeah, we can. The Royal Naval Report.
Royal Navy, yeah. So it's on the corner on the chat. Yeah.
Okay, so we got this, and let me drop this down and bring it up here. Is that the one? Is that the story?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Royal Navy News, Fighting Arms Surface Fleet. Royal Navy completes 10 days of intensive monitoring operations as Russian submarine and warships enter UK waters. The Royal Navy has completed 10 days of focused operations closely monitoring Russian warships and a submarine in UK waters as part of coordinated NATO efforts. Naval, okay, I heard a sound I was wanting to check. Everything okay? Naval helicopters and ships. HMS Somerset, HMS St. Albans, HMS Mersey, and RFA Tide Force were dispatched to shadow four Russian Navy vessels, including a surfaced submarine in the English Channel and North Sea. Portsmouth-based HMS Mersey were activated 3 times between March the 29th and April 7th, working with a Wildcat helicopter from 815 Naval Air Squadron and Tanker Tide Force to report on the movements of Russian frigate Admiral Grigorovich, Raputa class landing ship Alexander Shabalin, and Kilo class submarine Krasnodar. Separately, Type 23 frigate HMS Somerset intercepted Russian Udaloy class destroyer Severomorsk and accompanied oiler Kama near the coast of Brittany, France and kept close watch using her powerful array of radars and sensors through the channel and into the North Sea. Sister ship HMS St. Albans briefly joined Somerset as part of a formal handover as the latter began 4 months of operations in the North Atlantic to monitor submarine movements and protect critical undersea infrastructure. Executive Officer of HMS Mersey, Lieutenant George Haig, said Mersey routinely acts as one of the high readiness units to protect UK waters, alongside her sister ships HMS Tyne and Severn. Our ability to provide a presence to monitor the Russian activity in UK waters is no small feat, especially with such an increase in activity over the last few months. I am extremely proud of Mersey's ship's company for their continued dedication and hard work in delivering Mersey to the front line for these operations. We are very proud to be a part of the Royal Navy's commitment to the maritime security of the United Kingdom. Working with our NATO allies continues to highlight the teamwork and strength behind the NATO alliance. HMS Mersey was first activated to track the Alexander Chabalon on the morning of March the 29th near the island of Ushant off the northwest coast of France, reporting on their movements with a Wildcat helicopter as the Russians sailed east through the channel and into North Sea until March the 31st. Then, as the Admiral Gregovich sailed towards the Strait of Dover, Mersey was ready to intercept, monitoring from April the 2nd as the frigate sailed west, battling high winds and sea from Storm Dave to meet Kilo-class submarine Krasnodar and accompanying tug Altai near the Ushant. Mersey and RFA Tide Force then worked together with Belgian, French, and Dutch aircraft and ships to monitor the Russian trio as they together made their eastbound voyage through the channel. Meanwhile, during a 2-week mission from March 31st, Somerset and Merlin helicopter from 814 Naval Air Squadron monitored Severomorsk. HMS St. Albans met Somerset to formally hand over duties of Operation Ceto, the UK's standing operations to protect Britain's strategic deterrence and monitoring potential submarine activities in the North Atlantic. HMS Somerset's commanding officer, Commander Matt Millyard, said, "Since returning from operations in December 2025, an incredible amount of work has gone into preparing HMS Somerset to reassume the OPSETO duty again, and I am very proud of the crew for achieving so much in such little time. The months ahead promise to be a complex mix of tasking for the ship, but we are ready and look forward to the challenge." There you go.
And I think just followed up with the government's press release.
Government's press release.
It's the first one in the last list.
The first one?
Yep.
Alright. The Reddit.com?
No, sorry. The UK.
Government.
.uk, yeah.
Okay.
Government giving press releases.
I was going to say I don't think it's Reddit. It could be, but I don't think it's Reddit.
I repeat that.
Okay, so let's get this up. And excuse my English because people over in the UK talk funny. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so press release. UK exposes covert Russian submarine operations in and around the UK waters. The British military has exposed a covert Russian submarine operation in and around UK waters, forcing the vessels to retreat back to Russia. From Ministry of Defense, the RT Han Cirker, Starmer, KCB, KCMP, and RT Han John Healy, MP, published April the 9th, 2026. UK reveals Russian submarine operation in and around British waters. British personnel, ships, and aircraft deployed to send a message to President Putin and keep the UK and our allies secured. Operation was part of a Russian bluff while other specialist vessels conducted various activities near critical underwater infrastructures. British aircraft and warships identified a Russian attack submarine entering international waters in the high north several weeks ago, tracked its activity around the clock. Service personnel quickly established that the submarine was deployed as a distraction, and the UK worked closely with allies, including Norway, to identify and monitor other Russian undersea naval units from the main Directorate of Deep Sea Research, known as GUGI, G-U-G-I, conducting nefarious activities over critical undersea infrastructures elsewhere. The UK and its allies began a campaign of overt action to ensure the Russian units knew that they were being monitored and were no longer covert as Putin had planned. Both the GUGI units and the Akula class submarine have subsequently retreated home, having failed to complete their operation in secrecy. Prime Minister Keir Starmer said, "I am determined to protect the British people from paying the price for Putin's aggression in their household bills. That is why we will not shy away from taking action and exposing Russia's destabilizing activities that seek to test our resolve. Our armed forces are among the best in the world, and the British public should be in no doubt that this government will do whatever it takes to defend our national and economic security wherever in the world that is needed." Defense Secretary John Healy, MP, said, "I want to pay tribute to the UK personnel who spent many days tracking these Russian submarines in extremely challenging and treacherous conditions. While the eyes of many, understandably, were on the Middle East, our British armed forces were simultaneously responding to rising Russian threats north of the UK. As we act to defend our interests and allies in the Middle East, we are tackling increasing threats to NATO in the High North, maintaining strong support for Ukraine and protecting our UK homeland. To Putin, I say this: we see you. We see your activity over our underwater infrastructures. You should know that any attempt to damage it will not be tolerated and would have serious consequences. Subsea fiber optic cables are essential for all digital communications, with over 99% of international data traffic, including voice calls and internet data, traveling through subsea cables. This underpins global banking, trade, and communications. Conducted under the cover of events in the Middle East, the Russian attack submarine and multiple vessels from the main Directorate of Deep Sea Research, known as GUGI or GUGI, entered international waters in the High North. The Royal Navy deployed a Type 23 frigate, HMS St. Albans, RFA Tidespring, and Merlin helicopters to track the attack submarine as it operated near British territories or territorial waters. Working alongside RAF P-8 aircraft, the submarine was tracked 24/7 in an operation carried out with allies. As part of the operation, which saw British ships cover thousands of miles, the RAF and Navy deployed sonobuoys to track the Russian vessels. While the Russian attack submarine has now headed back towards Russia, the UK has kept both naval vessels and aircraft ready to respond should Russian vessels return. GUGI is Russia's long-running military program to develop capabilities to be deployed for specialist surface vessels and submarines that are intended to survey underwater infrastructures during peacetime, but then damage or destroy infrastructures during a conflict. British defenses were previously tested by GUGI when the Russian spy ship Yanter sailed near UK waters last year. The ship was tracked by a Royal Navy frigate and RAF P-8, with lasers being directed at British pilots. The Yantar is one of the key vessels used by Russia to threaten the UK and our allies. Over the last 2 years, the UK has seen a 30% increase in Russian vessels threatening the UK waters. This comes as the Royal Navy completes 10 days of intensive monitoring operations of Russian warships and a submarine which entered UK waters in the English Channel and North Sea. HMS Somerset and HMS Morsay, supported by tanker RFA Tide Force and Wildcat helicopters, tracked the movement of a Russian destroyer, frigate, landing ship, and Kilo-class submarine. The Royal Navy ships used their powerful array of radars and sensors to track the Russian vessels. The UK is stepping up on its commitment to protect our critical underwater infrastructures. This includes an additional £100 million pounds, to support our vital P-8 submarine hunting aircraft. delivering on the recommendations of the Strategic Defense Review, the Atlantic Bastion program in transforming the Royal Navy's submarine hunting capabilities, combining autonomous systems and advanced sensors with the Royal Navy fleet of warships. The project has already received millions in investment to develop the test innovate, innovative technology. This comes as the government is overseeing the biggest uplift in defense spending since the Cold War, reaching 2.6% of GDP from 2027, and with £207 billion invested in defence across the Parliament. The UK continues to closely monitor the situation and is working closely with allies to track and deter any activity that threatens British interests. Alright. That hurt my ear. I actually have to cough.
I've got a few thoughts about this one. When it comes to the 2.6% of GDP in 2027, I doubt we will meet that. After all, we're in a financial situation at this present moment. So that's going to have to be IMF loans. As far as the Keir Starmer's, and I will not call him Sir, I will refuse to call him Sir, Keir Starmer's quota, our armed forces are among the best in the world. Well, we've seen a real depletion of our Navy and Army over the last 20 plus years now. A real issue with not being able to recruit enough people and not being able to recruit enough people and not being able to maintain our naval stock, which funny enough got me thinking about the last time that we had there was any sort of form of military invasion into Great Britain, and the last time was in 1797 with the Battle of Fishguard, which was committed by the revolutionary French forces. Remember, it was during the French Revolution. So yeah, and at that time we had a massive naval stock. The old joke about Britain being the rulers of the sea. But yeah, we are nowhere near that anymore. Also, he said, and the British public should be in no doubt that this government will do whatever it takes to defend a nation and economic security wherever that in the world that is needed. I have absolute no confidence in this government at all. No, absolute no confidence. What's the island that we gave or we're given away to Mauritius? Roger. Anybody? Hello? Anybody there? Am I talking into the void? Just gonna have to be patient. Okay, with the Chico silence, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm actually
What happened?
Robert was in here. I'm trying to get him on here. I thought freaking it wouldn't be
Okay,
that
I was
bad.
halfway through my point, and I asked you a question, and you disappeared.
Yeah, it kind of happened on accident. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So what was?
Tant disappeared as well.
Yeah.
So you didn't hear any of my points at all.
I heard most of them. I had to get up and freaking go over there and do that, and got distracted.
Okay,
So
I'll go back to where we were. So I lost my train of thought.
now, what was your question actually? Because
I worked out what it was. It was the Chagos Islands I was thinking of. Okay. Let's go from the start again. Totally lost my train of thought tonight.
well, from what I was listening to that you're talking about, the thing that really what really stuck out to me with that was whenever, like towards the end of what I read there, okay, they were really pushing on like the technology, if you notice that, and then they started talking about their underwater freaking resources, basically.
Yeah, things like communication lines.
Yeah, infrastructure and stuff.
Yeah, infrastructure.
You know what I mean? And that's something that stuck out to me right there. And for me, they were like really pushing the whole Ukraine defense thing, but still they allowed them to pass through the freaking channel.
Okay, I'll just repeat my thoughts. I sort of mentioned them just now. When it comes to the uplift of defence spending, it says 2.6% of GDP in 2027, which meets the United Nations target at a cost of 270 billion across the rest of this parliament. So from 2027 to 2029, I doubt that we are going to even get anywhere close to that. I mean, this country is in a serious sort of financial state at the moment anyway, in reality. So it's going to be IMF bailout loans.
If you remember the last time we had a conversation about the military in the UK, it was with Mr. Robot, and we were kind of going over that too, where they were talking about their spending and how high it was, and it's like they seem to think that you guys are going to be able to come out with billions and billions of pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it sounds ridiculous to even think that you're going to be able to do that. Maybe they're actually profiting off of the war. Because everybody
No,
knows.
it would be loans. Once it would be international bank loans.
Well, but the family that did
And
that,
which-
right, was they all Hitler?
It's
which will be based on based on inflation. So we will be paying a lot. We British citizens will be paying a lot more in the long term.
yeah, but you'd still be making money on the short term. War creates freaking revenue. I mean, that's the one of the main reasons.
Yeah. For a number of companies
Right?
that in real tax terms,
No, you guys will be losing.
yeah, precisely.
But you know who this is all for? This is for the freaking bigwigs, the ones that have all the money that they're pushing for this war so they can make a profit off of it.
What's my other points? Armed forces, Keir Starmer's statement, armed forces being among the best in the world, and British public should, I'll just stick with that for a minute. Armed forces are the best in the world. Maybe 20 years ago, sure, but we've seen significant cuts in both the Navy and Army in this country within the last 20 odd years. And we've got equipment that is not being maintained well. We've got not enough people being employed.
Yeah. Well, you've also got to remember Britain as the leaders when it comes to ground-to-air technology too. Like you guys were the ones who developed the missiles that were freaking being guided by.
It's okay to invent it, but if you've got nobody to actually maintain it, if you've got nobody to operate it, then what's the point?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't think you're as defenseless as what you think you are.
Okay.
To be honest with you, because,
well, let's just say we are a significant shortfall at the moment, which reminded me of the last time we had a military invasion in this country, or now naval invasion, and that was related to the Battle of Fishguard in 1797, done by the revolutionary French at the time. Remember, it was middle of the French Revolution at the time. So yeah, and back then we had a massive naval. Victoria First, or Elizabeth First, Victoria, Queen Victoria. Yeah, we once ruled the seas. That's the old expression. But not anymore.
You keep talking because I'm going to try to get Robert hooked up to where he can come on with us and talk about. He's getting real excited behind me, so keep talking.
As far as the other point, go back to that. And this the British public should be in no doubt that this government will do whatever it takes to defend our national and economic security. Well, they're doing a very good job of defending our economic security and national borders at this present moment, aren't they? I'm afraid to say that I've got absolute no confidence in this government at all. If Russia did try to attack this country, we would have no choice but to fall back on to Article 5 of the North Atlantic Treaty. The point of if one NATO country is attacked, then all other countries, NATO countries, have a responsibility to aid and assist that country. So yeah, I don't have any. Keir Starmer has made a lot of statements, and he's backtracked on a lot of those statements. There's a famous Margaret Thatcher made a famous line, I think back in '89, where she said, to quote her, it was something on the lines of, "You turn if you want to, this lady's not for turning." As far as Keir Starmer is concerned, you turn if you want to, we will U-turn every single time. So yeah, again, I've got no confidence in this government at all to defend our borders and our sovereign interests. Tan, have you got any thoughts?
I've been sneaking in and out throughout this.
Yeah, I noticed.
Kind of out of the loop.
Also, you might have to want to increase your volume a bit.
Any difference now?
They're not hard too much. No,
Any difference?
a bit. But yeah, have you got any thoughts?
So what is the point of this? So the UK has detected some Russian submarines in British territory,
Yeah, and I.
and they did nothing about it.
Well, who's happy about it? The government is just making standard noises that you would expect.
Like they do voice objection, right? That
Well, they voice a objection, and it's diplomatic issue at this present moment. But this does demonstrate that we've got Russian activity within unauthorized activity within British sovereignty.
right. Did the Russians give any explanation for?
Not really. I think in the Daily Mirror report, there was a thing about Putin saying that if Britain does anything, then that would be an escalation to war. But I would argue that, or something on that lines anyway. But I would argue that Russia is attempting to escalate themselves.
Right. Sounds like it, because they don't even bother giving an explanation for
Well, not public explanation anyway.
invading in British sovereignty, British territory.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that's really bad about it, is because you know what I mean. It's just that they just come in there covertly, especially in the channel.
Covertly. Even when they've been discovered, it's no longer covered.
They've been escorted in British
If you
by the Royal Navy.
well, read what they said too, though. They said that they found out that they were traveling covertly. You know what I mean?
Of
And
the
then they were
submarines, yeah.
discovered.
But as far as the
If Russians warships invades the British territory, don't you have the right to detain them?
Yeah,
You can
but
catch them, right? But why are you
then
escorting them off? Just like
no. At this point, it seems like we are not doing anything.
oh
Again, as I said, we've got an extremely weak government and
which
ideologically based weak government.
okay.
Ideologically corrupt, I would argue, weak government.
Well, I mean, the Keir Starmer is the prime minister, but who's the head of the navy?
Head of the Navy, that'd be, well, that'd be admirals. It would be all under the.
Did they comment on the incident?
There was a Defence Secretary, John Healey.
Right.
Okay. Stated.
No, I finally got Wild Man on here, so no.
But as I said, I've got no confidence in this government at all.
Well, you know, my whole take on that is this: it's like, when you look at how close that is to England, okay, you can't mistake that as being a threat. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter.
Well, it's a diplomatic incident, let's just say, at this point.
It doesn't matter if it was Germany or Russia being in the channel is a danger. Now, I could understand if it was the French because they're your neighbor country, you know, but if they were in the English Channel,
yeah,
you know what I mean. That's that's a completely different freaking level right there. That's a direct threat to your country.
Right.
That's like us finding those German U-boats. Like, what was it? They said they were less than 50 miles off.
What were they doing there?
They were sunk there for some reason. That was back during the World War II. They had sunk but they were real close to the Staten Island.
I mean, to make an obvious comparison, that's like Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Well, up to a point. Okay. So yeah.
Can you hear him?
Very weakly.
Okay, hold on a minute. Go ahead. Go ahead and keep talking. I'll be right back.
I just seen at this present moment. Government's duty. Government's primary duty is to defend and protect the borders of the sovereignty.
Yeah.
And this demonstrates, and well, I would also say the immigration issue in this country, but this specifically demonstrates that this government isn't protecting the borders of our country, of Britain.
Apparently, Moscow denied the incident altogether.
What?
Whoa, what was that? There's a lot of static noise on the line.
Roger, do something about that. That's really bad.
Oh, is that coming from Rogers? Yeah, it's all quiet now. Oh, he muted himself. Must have been coming from him. Yeah, anyway, so what do you think about the Russian embassy denying the
Well, if there's a massive naval ship there, it's obvious that it's there. I would go miss a naval ship.
Is there any video footage of the sighting?
Not that I've seen, but
This is on. This is the. It's an old instance, right? Back in.
This is within the last, well, the naval, the
Early
warship thing is on the 8th. So only
Yeah, April 8th.
3 days ago.
Yeah. Britain has deployed military vessels to prevent any attacks on cables and pipelines. Oh, they think that the Russian submarines are there to sabotage some UK infrastructures.
Yeah, disrupt infrastructure, so disrupt telecommunication lines, I'm guessing.
Right. But apparently at the end there was no damage.
I guarantee
Roger, it's you, man. There are two. Oh,
okay.
there's two of you. There's the Robert Hansen.
Yeah.
Wait, is that your brother?
Yeah.
Is that your brother, Roger? Is trying to get onto the stream and.
And you've got a dog barking in the background.
Wait, that's my dog. You can hear it?
Yeah.
Right. It's supposed to have noise canceling. Hang on.
No.
You still hear it?
Still there.
Oh man. So much for noise canceling earbuds. How about now?
It's still no, it's still there. Still there.
Alright, I'll mute myself.
Like the Steam at the present moment. Can't have a conversation by myself.
We keep talking. I can unmute myself when it's not like
what else am I Canada? I'm sort of giving you the background, I'm giving you my thoughts.
How about now?
It's still
Any dog barking?
no, it's quiet. No. Oh. Yeah, it's still God.
Can't do anything about that. Panda,
Okay.
stop. Oh,
That seems to have worked.
he's quiet.
Oh,
Might actually help. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Okay.
Brother's on the line as well.
So that's working.
Okay.
For some reason, he's not able to hear you guys very well.
Okay.
Yeah, because if he turns on his
I have no idea what the deal is.
Tan, you are now extremely quiet.
It was working perfectly fine the other day. Robert gets hold of his computer and just messes it up. Horrible.
How about now? Am I sounding a little louder?
A little bit. Okay, we've either got you being quiet or the dogs yapping.
There we go. It's working now. We got it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Tan, you're really quiet.
Oh, I think I know I know what's happening. I'm using the wrong microphone. Hey, wait, hang on. Look at this.
Okay.
How about now?
Say something.
Well, what I was referring to is
Sorry, Robert. Just a second. Tan.
Hello, Robert.
how are you guys
okay.
doing?
Yeah. So sorry, Robert. Carry on.
Well, what I
Alright.
was referring to. Oh, sorry about that, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Hello, welcome. We've never met before. My name's Tan. You are Roger's brother?
Yeah, I'm the oldest one. I'm the crackpot of the group.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Well, what I was referring to is they found before a submarine with a torpedo hanging out of the belly of the miniaturized sub, the two-man sub in Hawaii waters back in the. Well, this was about like 15 to 16 years ago. They were
Okay.
the water thing
Okay.
and with sonar, and they found one they did hanging out of the tube of the miniaturized sub that they were using to sink the ships as well. They were
Okay.
using them small two-man submarines.
Is this a Russian?
No. During World
16
War
years
II.
ago, what conflict?
Oh, I was talking about you. I thought you guys was talking about over in Hawaii.
Well,
okay, sorry about
we
this.
sort of refer back to that, but my point was the thing that we're actually talking about is the situation with Russia and Britain at this present moment.
Oh,
But underneath the Mobius, they had a submarine, and a warship that was escorting tankers through the English. What do they call that? Canal, not English
Channel.
English
Channel. The English Channel. Just recently, and it was from the Russians, and they were doing it. Secretly. I'm having a brain fart on it, but that's basically the story of it. And they escorted him out of the channel into the North Sea. Is what we're talking about.
okay.
And also reports of Russian submarines in the North Sea. Actually, it wouldn't be the North Sea. We're going to be the Channel. That'd be, well, technically, yeah, it would be actually. But yeah, there's other reports in relation to submarines being around other British interests, infrastructure.
What about that big off to the side of the UK? That big oil thing that you drilled in the ocean. I remember it was
the North Sea. Sorry, the German.
no, it was in the UK that did it, and they were pumping out the oil from out of the ocean. They did a lot of drilling there, and they're saying that it's a good sized field in the ocean next to the UK.
This goes back to the net zero issue. We've got an oil field between Britain and Germany in the fetch, but because of our stupid, because of Ed Miliband's stupid idea about renewable energy and the net zero argument, we are not utilising that. So we are buying in oil from other countries, including where was it? Not Iceland.
Greenland.
Not Greenland.
Netherlands.
No,
is that the one that US?
We're buying in oil. Could be the Netherlands, actually.
The one that
from them, but they are. They've got legal access to some of our North Sea oil.